How to be successful in housebreaking an older or newly adopted adult dog. I have a question for Dana today, springing some training advice.
Scared.
I've adopted an older dog from a shelter. I mean, you know, and we're not housebroken.
Oh.
How would you address that?
I have done this twice. It's funny. I think there's so many ways when we talk about potty training for older dog. The most success I have, I tie the dog to me. So I get
What does it look like?
I get an 8-foot leash, or I actually have a running belt leash. Shocking for those of you that know me. So I have a little belt that has a leash clipped to it, and I clip it to the dog, and the dog just goes everywhere I go. So that when I start to notice extra sniffing behavior or kind of looking around for a place maybe to go to the bathroom, that we go outside right when I start to see those behaviors, and they can go potty. The biggest thing I found in myself is that I am doing too many things in my house all at once to pay attention really closely to a dog. So I have to short circuit it for me. I also live in a small place, so it's not always the easiest actually to have a pen up. And depending on the size of the dog that you brought into your house, that may not be feasible for you. So I bring the dog with me, and that way I can notice any quick behavior change. The other thing I think I called myself out on, training my first adult terrier how to be potty trained, which if you know terriers and adult terriers, it can be really hard to do, was that I had to remember to bring the treats with me outside and make the actual act of going to the bathroom outside the rewarding behavior, not the act of coming back in the house, the behavior that was rewarded. And I know that's a super pain in the butt. We are December as we're filming this. I don't know when you're watching it, but regardless, it's never the most fun to have to like put your shoes on and go outside with your dog. And, you know, now it involves putting 4 layers of clothes on and maybe a hood, and you got to grab your treats. But that is one of the biggest things for training an adult dog.
So going outside.
Not just outside with them.
So very similar to just a puppy.
I think super similar to a puppy, but I think the need to be consistent is instantaneously more. I think a puppy, you've got sphincters developing, you've got other behaviors that are happening. I think they learn it more easily because they haven't had a history of going to the bathroom in the house as much. And then you amp all those things up when you have an adult dog. So it can be harder. And owning big dogs and little dogs, I
still think lack of access is important, whether it's with an adult dog or a small dog.
Yeah. So I end up
tying them to you is great. But if you're not going to tie the dog to you,
so what do you do for lack of access or boundaries?
Well, if we're not using a crate, I still love my baby gates.
Yep.
And I love my X-Pens, and they simply don't get to go into, back bedrooms where you can't see them. They can't go, they're still within an acceptable area. Also places that are easier to clean up if they do have an accident. But it is about timing and setting yourself up for success and the dog up for success.
And so do you set a timer for adult dogs the way you would for a puppy?
No. And as you were saying that, I also pretty much never house train my puppies or my adult dogs, if that's with treats. It's the one time I do not use treats.
Oh, interesting.
And I see where the benefit is, but I also see where...
But you use other positive things
I'm
like
out there making a fool out of myself. And yes, good potty. And you have all kinds of weird names for going potty, sissy, yay, whatever you're going to do. But I am very animated with the dogs for sure. But it's the one time I don't...
So that's a super good point. If you forget your treats on the way out, or you don't want to use the treats on the way out, remember that for many dogs, physical affection or
Simply going potty is a really good.
And sorry guys, but baby talk and high pitched squeaky voices are rewarding for dogs. So get your falsetto on. The other thing I thought about with potty training an adult dog, or sort of an extension of this, is you and I are fortunate that we have fenced in areas where our dogs can potty safely, so we can just open the door and they can walk right out. The flip side of that is we both have had dogs that have then had a hard time pottying on leash.
Oh yeah, the country dog going into the city trying to poop on a leash, to be quite crass, is a skill.
So it's, I think that's the other piece of potty training, whatever age dog you have. Pottying at home, pottying away from home, pottying on leash, pottying off leash, pottying on gravel, pottying on grass, like all of those are actually skills.
Not
that
pottying on the deck.
Oh my gosh, not pottying on the deck, not pottying on man-made things. I'm looking at you, boy dogs. Those are all things we actually teach our dogs as a skill, to potty on different surfaces, to potty on leash. It sounds silly, and most of us are simply worried about not going to the bathroom in the house. But teaching all those other skills can be really beneficial if you're traveling, or you're in a new place, or you go visit family for an event.